Hello everyone, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. Thank you for all your comments on my past videos, particularly the last couple of videos. They've been very useful and very helpful, and they've led me to new information and new insights. So thank you very much for contributing to this channel and for your support. Now, I did say I wanted to have a look at Trump in May. We've had even, daily more news coming forward on a daily basis. Worryingly, that there is that warship being sent to Iran. Nobody wants to see an outbreak of violence in the Middle East, but we'll get to that. That'll come up during the reading. We've had Mnuchin now come out and say that no tax returns. We've got Barr continuing to impede or obstruct as much as he can, and refusing the House requests for information and appearances, etc., House subpoenas. So it's looking like they're going to move to hold him in contempt. There's also some action in the New York state there. I had a link come forward from one of the viewers, which there were two things. I do feel that Letitia James is going to make some progress this month on the investigations. She's the U.S. Attorney General there in New York, the state of New York, but also the Californian government state government is just about passed some legislation which will mean that Trump will have to turn over his state taxes, which can then be passed on to the House of Representatives. So we've got a lot happening, and of course Trump's continual flirting and flaunting a relationship with Vladimir Putin, which is just, obviously getting under everybody's noses. Now, we've still got the questions around the unredacted Mueller report, which is what Congress wants. We had, in my last reading, a couple of things coming forward. We had, I'm assuming, what was Rod Rosenstein appear there. We also had the Queen of Pentacles coming forward time and time again. So I feel also that I felt at the time that might have been Letitia James, but it could also be the women senators there, Democratic senators, and the actions that they're taking, the investigations that they're calling for. So a lot happening in the month of May. I did feel that June was the critical month, and that the month of May would be about prizing open the truth. Okay, so let's have a look. Now, one question I had not done in that last reading was look at whether the White House has seen. I don't know that they would have seen the unredacted Mueller report, but they might have been briefed on those redactions. So let's have a look at that question there. Has William Barr briefed the White House on those redactions? In other words, has he briefed the White House on the unredacted sections of the Mueller report, the unredacted sections of the Mueller report? Has Bill Barr briefed the White House on the unredacted sections of the Mueller report? I feel my impressions are that he has, because we've got an abuse of power here in the Five of Swords. I'll just bring the laptop down. There are a couple of questions I want to ask first before we get on to Trump's May. I feel that this is indicating that there's been an abuse of power here, and it's challenged by the victory of the Democrats in the Senate. So why are they obstructing? Why are they obstructing this call for the unredacted report? It's because it would be a victory for the Democrats. Now, that's the way they think. What it would be a victory for is justice. Okay, that's the significant theme of this reading. The foundation of the reading is that this action has been taken because the president is on the back foot. He's actually fighting a number of battles, and of course Bill Barr has been hired to make those battles either go away or make life easier. There's been this self-defense here in the background. Bill Barr that's why he's come on board to defend the president here, and there's been an abuse of power. potential of the present moment is things coming forward strongly and quickly. Now, it would assume this reading so far is indicating that he may have briefed the White House on those what is unredacted, those sections of the report which may be potentially detrimental to Donald Trump. But it's also showing that there is some things are going to come forward quite strongly and quickly. This is also a yes card. So far my reading is suggesting that he has. And we've got the autocrat, the emperor, coming into frame here. This was to help the emperor, take a victory, basically. Now, what might have been in those unredacted parts of the report had to do with Donald Trump's business dealings. I have always felt it is around the potential deal, the Moscow Tower, the Trump Tower, and this is also Donald Trump's finances here. They've come into the frame. This is the big issue at the moment. So yes, potentially William Barr has briefed the White House on what is in the unredacted part of the report. The environment around is strength here. This is the AG, sent in to protect the businessman or the businessmen. The hopes and the fears, isolation here. I feel this is also for Bill Barr as well. I feel that this is the Hermit card, this is the Exile card, this is having to go within to reflect on one's actions. He may actually be doing that, but it's born out of a fear here that he may have overstepped his mark. Now, the Eight of Pentacles is actually my card for Mueller's report. This is the hard work of the investigation. This has always represented the Mueller report. Now, why has that come up here into the frame? The Six of Cups going back to the past here, and this is also even presenting the apple here, the poison apple, suggesting that something untoward might have been done. But there's also disappointment here in some way for Barr as a result of this, as a result of his actions, and what's hidden from our view is the Hanged Man. So I do feel that Barr has tied himself into a place where if he does something, again, he's just going to be straight away hamstrung in trying to get anything through now. He could actually face impeachment. That is what I'm feeling. Now, the reading in summary is suggesting that Barr may have discussed or talked my impressions through this tarot reading. This is tarot cards. That there is a potential there for Barr to have discussed what should have been redacted, what would be unredacted, and in some way that's been discussed with the White House counsel there. Quite clear to see what Barr's motives have been. He's been doing a clean-up job for the president. Now, these are my impressions through my tarot cards. But I do feel he's going to be hamstrung in a way in the future potentially through impeachment proceedings. Has he gone too far? That is the question he's asking himself at the moment. Now let's have a look at Trump in May. So we're at the 7th of May now, so we're into our first week of May. So we'll pull 4 cards and then we'll look for some clarifiers. Trump in May. What are the general conditions for Trump in May? So we'll go from this week and we'll move through the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th week. Trump in May. Okay. More defending oneself, more strategizing, more positioning, more obstructing. Trump in May. The reality of his situation is here as well. So this is a fight now. A fight to the death, shall we speak, which is why you're getting him floating ideas about, not relinquishing the presidency, etc., etc. Don't forget the recommendation or the section of that Mueller report that says that once he's no longer in office, after that first term, he could well be indicted. So you have to understand the high stakes that Trump is playing for. Okay, Trump in May. Is it going to be enough? No. I'm just getting, to be honest, viewers, I'm just getting an open door with absolute a light rushing through like a tornado, like just rushing through the door, much like. That's why I leave that open and I don't close it, even though some of you say remove it. I actually do like the light coming in. And as long as it doesn't interfere with our card readings, which it doesn't, then I'll keep it open. But that's the image that I got. I got absolute and utter strong illumination in May for Donald Trump. He will not be able to hold back the tide of these investigations, the amount of the weight, the actual weight of them. So, Trump in May, let's have a look at week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, Trump in May. What do we need to know? What are the general conditions for Donald Trump in May, going week by week? General conditions for Donald Trump in May. General conditions, Trump in May. Oh, okay, right at the moment, he's concerned about endings. This is a death card. So I'm just going to get my calendar up here. This is now week beginning Monday the 6th of May right through till, Sunday the 12th. There are endings here that he is concerned about with the death card. So what's preoccupying his mind this week is all about stopping the end of his presidency. And if you go back to my preamble, there are hints there around, intuitive hints around what is preoccupying Trump during May. Now, the second week of May will see him flexing his muscles. This is the Emperor card. This is the Autocrat card. So week beginning the 13th of May, we're going to be looking at strong action from Trump. Is he going to try and stop? Well, he's already trying to stop Mueller. Is he going to come forward with some action to stop Mueller appearing in Congress? Or to stop these other actions at the state level? He's going to be flexing his muscles as president in the second week of May. By the third week, though, we have Congress starting to make progress here. This is the lawmakers here. This is cutting through the, as I say, the BS. This is actually getting a clarity on the situation. A clear way forward for Congress will be presented in week 3. This is generally my card for Nancy Pelosi. Are we going to see impeachment proceedings started for the AG in week 3? Are we going to see, let me see, week 3 would be a week beginning the 20th. What are we likely to see happening in week 3? I feel Congress is going to take a very hard stand in week 3. Now, week 4, week beginning the 27th of May, we've got the Page of Swords, and this is prizing open the truth. So will they have a copy of the unredacted Mueller report by the 4th week of May? It's seeming to suggest the 27th of May that in some way they are closer to the truth in that 4th week. Now, what is hidden from our view at this point in time in May is the Sun card, which is this illumination streaming through the door that I got the impression of. It's also a card of success. Now, I'm going to, leaving that up there, I'm actually going to pull some more clarifying cards here. Just bear with me while I get my other decks out. And we'll drill down a little bit. Okay, I'll just cut the deck so the energies are nice and clear for this reading. Shuffle, Trump in May, clarifying, Trump in May, clarifying. So we've got this week beginning the 6th of May, and we've pulled the death card, Trump being very concerned about the ending of his presidency. The death card, Trump being concerned about the ending of his presidency. Can we have some more information on that card? What do we need to know about this card? The ending of Trump's presidency, week beginning the 6th. This is what's uppermost in his mind. Can we have some clarification on that card? Ooh, he's feeling it. This is the dark night of the soul. Okay, this week particularly, week beginning the 6th, he's feeling the ending of his presidency here. and this is what's leading him to abuse his power. So the Five of Swords here is the abuse of power. So we've got him really overreacting. In this first week, it's quite a dangerous week this week. When I say dangerous, don't get fearful. It's just going to be a very trying week this week because Trump is fighting. As I said, this is high stakes for Trump. He's trying to stall or forestall or stop the ending of his presidency, and it is his own painful ending as well. And he's going to abuse my impressions are through this tarot, is that he's going to abuse his power in order to forestall that ending. Now let's have a look at week 2, week beginning the 13th. We've got the autocrat Trump shifting gears now to use his executive powers in some way. Can we have some clarity around this? Trump using his powers as president in some way in week 2. Can we have some clarity on the Emperor card? Okay, so we're getting balance here. So he'll be swinging the balance in his favour, and my intuition is this is around Mueller's appearance in Congress. I think he's going to intervene. This is also negotiations. So it could be that if Mueller comes forward, he's restricted in certain parts. And we've got the Emperor clarifying the Emperor. So he'll be using his, could it be executive privilege? I'm not sure. There's going to be something that he will bring forward which will either restrict Mueller's testimony or will actually stop Mueller from testifying. He's going to be using his powers as president in week 2. If you can see this, it's really all about stopping the inevitable ending of his presidency. Now we get to week 3, which is the beginning of the which is the 20th of May, and we've got the beginning of the Congress fighting back, of the House fighting back. So we've got Nancy Pelosi and her team. I do feel this is the attorneys, the senators, could be Kamala Harris having a win here. Something about week 3, week beginning the 20th, is a win for the Democrats. What do we need to know here? We have some clarity, please, on the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords, week 3 here of May. All right, so we've got the wish card here. What does that mean? The wish card. Something's going to. This used to be my Trump card when he was simply a businessman before the president, but in this instance, clarifying the Queen here, we've got wishes coming true. So some kind of breakthrough is going to occur here. This could be that they get the redacted report, or it could be that they negotiate for Mueller to come in and testify, or it could be the beginning of impeachment for Bill Barr. It could be Bill Barr's resignation because someone is walking away here. This is loss for someone. So the Democrats are going to get their wish in some way, and someone is going to walk away. Or someone is going to have a loss in some way. So I feel that look for week 3, there's going to be a breakthrough for the Democrats. Now, week 4, we start to prize open the truth here, because I do feel that come June, we're going to get a lot of information coming through. My intuition was they may get the unredacted copy of the Mueller report by week 4, or it could be Mueller testifies. Something is going to occur in week beginning the 27th where the truth is going to be coming out. Now, it's a page of swords, okay? It's that page wielding that almighty sword. It's not the king of swords. It's not, it's not the Mueller investigation, had that gravitas. This has connotations of getting to the truth, of prizing open the truth. So let's get some clarity on the Knave of Swords. What do we need to know about the Knave of Swords? The month of May. The month of May. Okay, so we've got something's going to be illuminated. Here we have it, our doorway, our sun card. 4th week of May, expect illumination, expect the truth, some of the truth to come forward. The Democrats will be showing strength. Now, this is the strength card, strength and endurance. By the time we get to the 4th week of May, we're going to have some news. I'm feeling this is somebody testifying, or it could be, I think it's too early to have an unredacted copy of the Mueller report, or not, but it is somebody coming forward to testify, somebody that can shed light on the truth. So that's that's Trump's May. I now want to go to the warship in Iran, because if you look at it, this week's all about an abuse of power to try and stop the ending of his presidency. The second week shows him taking some kind of autocratic executive action here in a number of ways. Full on, he goes full Monty in week 2 of May. Let's have it. Is that declaring some kind of war with Iran as a deflection here, a show of strength? Let's have a look at what occurs in with the warship heading off to Iran. What do we? The American warship challenging Iran. We're going to see an escalation of tension, potentially an outbreak in some way of violence, warlike actions, somebody firing something over the bow. What are the conditions surrounding the American warship in the heading to Iran? What are we likely to see? What are those conditions, please, Spirit, for the everyone's highest good US warship Iran? Okay, so we've got independence and self-government here as the signifier card. This is Trump showing his independence as a president. We've got the 9 of Pentacles here being trying to draw that rabbit out of a hat, trying to work a miracle here so that he retains that. I guess that, this has always been the card of, having, this persona that Trump has as a successful businessman, as somebody who can, work miracles, somebody with a charmed life. It's about trying to maintain that persona. The reality of the situation is that he's isolated, he's isolated on this Iranian action. It wouldn't surprise me if the UN and other world leaders don't support such an aggressive show of force. In the past, we've got the Hierophant, so this is around the Defense Department. This is around the government. It's interesting. What has the House got to say on this mobilisation, if you like? It's showing that Trump is not necessarily supported here. There are secrets to be revealed. Now, one of the first things that came to mind here, if Iran is no longer able to sell its oil to the world through being blockaded or impounded in some way, blocked from doing that, that then has a benefit for Russia. There's some kind of secret to be, there's some kind of secret here, some information that we don't know about that is relating to this situation. And it is to do with disappointment for somebody, because this is in the immediate future. Disappointment for whom in relation to secrets. Now, we've got the loss here. We've got, in the situation at the moment, we've got somebody walking away here. Walking away, a loss here. The environment around, this is all about Trump's money. Oh dear. Does he ever do anything that, did Vladimir Putin threaten to walk away? Did Vladimir Putin hold his feet to the flame? And there's something here, there's some kind of information to do with the warship to Iran, which we do not know about. The hopes and fears is the abuse of power, and the final outcome is the Knight of Cups. This is a gift that's being given to somebody. We'll get some clarity here. We've got destiny, the wheel of karma, things changing for the better. And we've got the overflowing emotions here. Again, this is support. This action was to support somebody, not necessarily Iran. And what is hidden from our view is the Tower card. So potentially this action, which has been done to benefit somebody else, I'll just be blatant with that. This action is a bit of a There's something here that we don't know about. But what is hidden from our view is the Tower card, which potentially could mean an outbreak of violence as a result of this action. But this reading is suggesting to me that Trump is not necessarily going to be supported by this action, particularly from other world leaders. There is some information that's being hidden from our view. It has to do with Trump being disappointed. This could, simply be he's not satisfied with the way things are going. He wants a show of force to reinforce that persona. And this is around the loss that he's currently experiencing. This is Trump, the businessman, coming forward, which makes me wonder if there's a Russia connection here. The hopes and the fears, rightly so. Is this an abuse of power? There seems to be a gift or a seduction being offered in this action, but what's being hidden from our view is potentially an escalation of things, a Tower moment. So that is the Iranian situation. Now, I said to someone today, they said, well, we'll be glad when Trump goes, but to be honest, sitting here in Australia watching warships going toward, or a warship, battleship going toward Iran, understanding that, there could be another war which potentially would involve, in the Middle East, Australian soldiers, I'm not happy about that. There are other ways that things can be dealt with. Trump pulled out of the treaty, which stopped Iran developing nuclear weapons. It was a treaty that had global sign-off, and like so many other treaties he's pulled out of, it seems to benefit Russia. So I'm going to ask that question: are these actions, pulling out of treaties, escalating potentially, tensions in the Middle East with Iran? Of course, Saudi Arabia and Russia would benefit from increased oil sales there, particularly Russia. Saudi Arabia, if it can meet the demand here. It's quite precarious. We've got that Tower moment here. We're going to see a shortage of oil in the shorter term. Is this to benefit Trump's Russia, potentially Saudi Arabia? These actions, this gift that's being given to benefit foreign adversaries, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Russia. Let's have a look. Okay, so we've got the Queen of Cups here. There's certainly some kind of support being given to these foreign adversarial countries, and it's also suggesting that if we took the lid off that cup, then there would be more information coming forward. Now, we've got the challenge here. I feel that he is going to be restricted here in some way. Trump is going to be restricted here. Is it by the UN? Is it by other world leaders? Is it by his own government? There's going to be a restriction here. The King of Wands is suggesting that there may well be an uproar or an upcry coming from the Congress itself. In the past, we've got the businessman. Why am I not surprised that card occurred in this particular reading? What's hanging over us is the magician here working his particular brand of tricks here, his particular brand of magic. Here, there is never one reason why he would do something. There is potentially 10 reasons why he would, and all of it is to benefit himself. As we've got Trump the businessman card here, I'm thinking my intuition is that this would benefit Trump in some way with these, let's just call them allies, Trump's allies. The immediate future is suggesting some kind of manipulation here. So we've got the magician, we've got the Two of Pentacles, we've got that manipulation. The Seven of Pentacles is suggesting at this point in time there might be a reassessment of the action here at the quickness to act, because this is some kind of reevaluation in order to meet the goal. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw this heavy action coming forward. You might see a softening. In some way he's going to be restricted. The environment around the Queen of Pentacles, she's coming up a lot in these readings. I would suggest there could be action from the Senate. from the Congress here to try and manage the situation between the US and Iran a little bit better, other than sending cannons and bombs their way. The hopes and the fears. This is the faction fighting. I do believe that this is going to come now to Congress, and there's going to be a bit of a tug-of-war over this action here. We will have a waiting for results on it, waiting for results in terms of before any further resources are committed. We've got the Nine of Cups here, which is the wish card. This is Trump perhaps getting his wish, though. And we've got the Lovers, yeah. Okay, so we've got the deals being made. That was our central question. However, what we've got hidden from our view is Robert Mueller. So if this was a deflection, if this was, again, to benefit Trump's allies, we've still got Mueller in the frame, and we've still got the Mueller report and everything in relation to Mueller's investigations coming forward. So quite an interesting reading. I did want to have a look at SDNY. I do feel that there's some kind of movement or action coming forward there in May. There is a breakthrough for the Democrats in that fourth week, I think, of May. So let's watch for that. Again, it's not absolutely assured Mueller will appear. It seems that Trump might step in between there in that second week and stop him or restrict him in some way. So I'm going to leave it there, viewers. I hope that was an insightful reading for Trump in May. Hold on, because the first 2 weeks are pretty dicey. But by the time we start to get to the third and the fourth week, we're starting to have some gains there in the Congress in relation to justice and the truth. It will be a matter of prizing open the truth. But in the third week of May and the fourth week of May, there's certainly wins on the horizon for the Democrats. It's going to be rough, though. The first couple of weeks of May are going to be rough. All right, then. I'll leave it there. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for the information you bring forward and the support you give this channel. I do enjoy reading for you. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. And I am going to my next reading is actually going to be on climate change, after I saw Pompeo actually say that the melting of the ice caps in the Antarctic was actually a good thing for business opportunities. And I thought to myself, my goodness, if only you knew. If only you knew what you're up against. You're up against the Earth and the Earth's energies, and the Earth really having justice. And because, but I'll get into that. We'll do a reading. I want to look at the collective consciousness. I want to look at the connections that we have between us and other living things on this planet, and why when you start to do the wrong thing, it's like the autoimmune system kicks in, and we will start to see the Earth fighting back. So I'll do that reading. That'll be what I'll do next, possibly tomorrow morning. I want to do it when I'm clear and coherent and fresh and connected to spirit. That will be my next one. So in the meantime, here's the month of May with Donald Trump. Thank you very much.